Welcome to Comparative Politics. In this elective, we'll be attempting to compare countries by placing them on spectra to characterize various aspects of their political structures. And our comparisons will be primarily between the two existing superpowers, and that is the First New Portion Empire and the Server Federation. The first comparison I want to look at is the power spectrum, which asks the question, what percentage of the population of the country holds the power? And some systems of government you'll find along this spectrum are a monarchy where one person holds all the power, an oligarchy where some people, a group of people, hold all the power, and a democracy where all the people hold some of the power. First, the First New Portion Empire, of course, is an absolute monarchy today, as it has no constitution and the emperor virtually has supreme control over its entire system. But there are some soft powers within the empire that influence the emperor's decisions, such as the Court of Common Pleas, which the emperor has currently delegated judicial powers to, so that has some power in the system. Also, you'll have the imperial magistrate, which is the leader, the judge in the Court of Common Pleas. And today, the current imperial magistrate, Lost City 99, is actually also the Empress Consort. And so this means she wields a significant amount of soft power on the emperor's decisions. So I would place the First New Portion Empire somewhere between monarchy and oligarchy today. The Server Federation, on the other hand, is by law a direct democracy where all the citizens have a right to vote in the World Congress. However, just because it's by name a direct democracy does not mean that all people actually get a vote. Some restrictions of voting rights based on activity and residence have been proposed and enacted in the past, and these just depend on the definition of citizenship, which parties within the Federation, such as the Lore Party, have been working to restrict that definition of citizenship. And one example of this is the Inclusion Act, which passed at the end of the First World Congress, and this essentially all you need to know is that it restricts voting rights to certain citizens. And there are also other offices and institutions within the Server Federation, such as the president, who holds a bit more power than the other voting members of the World Congress, and the High Council, which is a council of the leaders of its constituent governments, and it acts as the supreme judicial body. So I would place the Server Federation between oligarchy and democracy, almost leaning toward oligarchy today. Let's also take a look at the economic spectrum, which asks the question, which is prioritized in the economy, the society or the individual? And as you can see on the scale here, when the society is prioritized above the individual, this can also be known as socialism, we place that in the classification of collectivism. And then in the middle of the scale, you have a mixed market economy where the priorities are balanced. And at the other end, you have individualism, where the individual is prioritized, and this can also be known as capitalism in a general sense. The First New Portion Empire has historically been described as a mixed market economy, although it does have a long tradition of capitalism as well. At one point, it was estimated that 50% of the industry is owned by the imperial government, which is an example of a collectivist approach. But there is also a widespread income inequality due to some players becoming extremely rich and some players not so much. So with all this in mind, I would place the First New Portion Empire almost right at mixed market, leaning toward individualism. Taking a look at the server federation, this is a very loosely connected economy, just if nothing else because of the distance between constituent governments, which is a promotion of individualism. But one example of collectivism you might see in the economics of the server federation is a universal basic income pilot program, which at the time of recording is currently being tested in Conchalore. And this program gives a base income to all of its permanent citizens of 3 stacks of iron per week. And if this program is successful, it might be expanded to the rest of the server federation in the future. But due to the loosely connected economy of the federation, there is almost no socialized industry, which would point toward individualism. And I would definitely place the server federation almost at the maximum amount of individualism on the economic spectrum. And that is your brief look at comparative politics.